Ahab was the king of Israel, and Jezebel was his wife, his queen, and she was bad, and he was bad. He was a man that let the woman tell him what to do. He was not a man. He was a coward. And so because he was a coward, the woman ruled she ruled the house. And because he wouldn't stand up to her, we see what happened to Israel. They began to worship. She began to bring in idolatry into the house. She began to worship false gods. And the people, they set up the altars of Baal and they would worship there. And what does Elijah come, the prophet come, and he speaks to them. And he says, I want you to bring all these prophets out here. Bring them all out here. And we're going to set up an altar. And the God who answers by fire, he's God. Hallelujah. And if you don't answer by fire, if your God don't answer by fire, you're not God. So guess what happens? They build the altar. If you've read this story, they build the altar. They put the firewood on there. And they're doing their thing. And Elijah's building an altar to the Lord. And watch what he does. How many of you know you don't put water on fire if you want it to burn? You don't pour water on wood if you want to start a fire. You want it to be dry. Well, Elijah, because he knows God, he says, you know what I'm going to do? They're going to know that he's God. I'm going to take this buckets of water. I'm going to make a trench around the altar. I'm going to pour water, so much water over this altar, over all this wood that's supposed to catch on fire. I'm going to put so much water that it is drenching and there's like a little puddle around it. And so he sits back and he's like, all right, go ahead, call your God. And he's just, sitting there looking at these guys beating themselves for hours and hours, praying and doing all this stuff. Oh, God, would you come? And speaking to the false God. They're crying out to him. And they're beating themselves and nothing happens. And then Elijah said, okay, it's my turn. And he prays.